Here is Ronald Reagan.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight it is my pleasure to appear with Cloris Leachman on the General Electric Theater.
In research, in engineering, in manufacturing skill, at General Electric, progress is our most important product.
This is the southern town of Lystra. Some 2,000 people call it home. To me, it's just an overnight stop. I'm Laren McCall, magazine writer. Specialty, debunking legends, exploding myths. My coming to Lystra is just coincidence. Or fate. Or maybe something else.
He's gone, but he's coming back. He's coming back. If he goes 10,000 miles, look away, look away over yonder.
It's drizzling. Won't you get wet up there?
What do you do up north in New York when it rains?
We know enough to come in out of the rain. What do you do?
We let it rain.
Can I help you, mister?
Yes, I need a room for the night.
Most folks do, even in New York.
Say, does New York stick out on me or something?
It does on your car plate, son.
Oh, well, how about it? Do you have a room?
It ain't my place to say. I'm just the bellboy. You better ask Mr. Culpepper.
Well, Mr. Culpepper?
Uh-huh. You want to register, I expect.
Yeah, that's right.
Hold on, son. Where are you going?
To register.
I got it right here. It saves walking.
Laren W. McCall, Watertown, New York.
What's the W for?
Winton. Is it important?
No. Salesman?
All righter.
You the L.W. McCall that has them articles in Collier's and the Saturday Evening Post?
That's right. You've read them?
Sometimes I have quite a wait at the barber shop. Sourmouth tales, as I recall.
Well, that's my secret. See, if you write an article about a sweet old lady, you could paper your room with rejection slips. But if you can prove the sweet old lady's fronting for a nationwide bookmaking ring, you have to beat the editors away with a riding crop.
Going to write something about Lystra?
No, just passing through. What time is dinner served?
6:30. Only down here we call it supper.
Thanks.
I wouldn't eat it if I was you.
Why not? It's your hotel, isn't it?
Mr. McCall, I've been setting the best dinner table in North Carolina for 43 years. Always the same price, 4 bits. But these days, to make out on dinner, I have to scrimp on supper.
Where do you eat supper?
At the Morgan place. Best supper table in North Carolina. Skimps on dinners. I'll walk over with you as soon as I hide my cash box in the umbrella stand. Hold on, son. Front.
Right here, Mr. Cole.
Room 12.
Never mind. I'll take it up later.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Why don't you talk the while to Leah Beth?
Is that the girl in the tree?
Pretty, ain't she? It's her mama sets the supper table.
Like a marble goddess. Hey, that's it.
What's it?
There's no statue out there in the square. This is the first town I've passed south of Richmond that didn't have a Confederate monument. How come?
Suppose you ask her. She knows. Hey, Leah Beth. A friend of mine wants to know why there is no secession statue here in Lystra. Name is McCall. Laren Wenton McCall. Aims to eat over at your house.
Hi.
Nice out, isn't it?
If you like a nice, healthy drizzle,
I like to sit in the rain, don't you?
I'll take an umbrella.
Well, that takes all the fun out of it. Like swimming with your clothes on or sleeping with the windows down. I bet you think the rainbow is a spectrum.
Well, isn't it?
Here in Lystra, we call it the hem of heaven's gown. We like it that way.
Well, what does that have to do with the missing Confederate monument?
We don't need one. The whole town is a monument. You see, Lystra is a town where all the young men volunteered and rode away to the army one night.
The Confederate Army, I assume.
That's right. They were all young and dashing. They went off on white horses, laughing and singing gallant songs, wearing yellow sashes. They were all lost. Every young man in the town. It's sad.
Sure, they probably fell out at a saloon 5 miles outside of town.
I don't understand.
Oh, come now. That's one of the standard myths made up of moonlight and magnolia.
If you'll excuse me, Mr. McCall, Mom will be waiting supper.
Oh, wait a minute. I'll help you down. Miss Morton.
Thank you, Mr. McCall.
Well, it was my pleasure, Miss Morton.
I wondered what you'd be like.
What?
I like you just the way you are. Mom will be waiting supper.
Henry, I told you not to indulge yourself so heartily in pecan pie.
I couldn't say no. You know how close to her bosom Bernice regards that pie.
You'll be holding hot water bottle to your bosom for the balance of the night. I can tell you that right now.
Bernice Morgan, it'll do you no good to pursue me with that coffee pot.
Oh, but won't you have just another dab, Mr. Culpepper?
Not if I should hang for it.
How about you, Mr. McCall?
Oh, no, thank you. I've done very well.
McCall, that's an odd name.
Odd?
Well, I mean, there aren't any in Lystra. Who are your people?
Mama.
When I was a girl, Leader, that was a perfectly proper question.
Well, originally, my folks all came from Watertown. Of course, way back, there was one.
Say, hey, don't leave those skeletons in the closet. Bernice, I'll thank you to finish off antebellum style with the swallow of that fine peach brandy.
It's a Lystra custom, you know. They toasted their ladies in peach brandy just before they went off.
They?
The young men that never came back.
Care to join me, Mr. McCall?
No, thank you.
In that case, Leobeth, why not show him the sword in the tree?
If he wants to see it.
Of course he does. I'll have that pot for you in just a minute, Mr. Carl. I just have to pick up the table.
Who put it there?
One of those who went away and never came back. My aunt was living here then. She was my great-great-aunt, really. I was 22, just like she was. And that night, she stood there on the gallery in the moonlight, waiting for her lover to come by and say farewell. He came up the path yonder, and they met. They sat by the edge of the pool and let their fingers in the water lazy-like. And when he left her, he drew his sword and stuck it in the tree. It was only a sapling then, but he swore that so long as the sword remained there, the honor of this house would be without blemish. The tree grew up around the sword, but there it is, still there.
He was riding a white horse.
wearing a yellow sash. I know how she felt, waiting night after night in the moonlight, waiting for the sound of the horse's hooves, for the flash of the yellow, waiting to feel his arms around her, waiting to be kissed. I like to sit out here and let the dew fall all around me.
You think there'll be some dew tonight?
You want your umbrella.
Oh, no, I can take my dew straight.
I'll just slip in for a wrap. I'll be back directly.
Larry?
Got in a little late last night, eh, son?
The dew was behind schedule. You know, Mr. Cull, there's a sword hanging in a tree over there at the Morgan place. Only when you get some light on it, it's a rusty old scythe blade.
Looks nicer in the moonlight. They say hereabouts that moonlight don't mimic.
Don't what?
Mimic. It's an old word we have. Mimic's a destroyer. When something's mimicked, it's dried out and shriveled up.
I suppose that's what happened to Leah Beth's great aunt.
In a way, time is a mimic, and it caught up with her. She told folks that she was married secret. She had to tell them something. And time went by, and she finally realized that he would never come back. So she puned it up and died of shame and a broken heart.
That's a pretty story, Mr. Cull, but it won't sell. The market these days is for balloons with pins in them. That's how I make my living. I just travel around looking for big balloons full of hot air.
Sort of a traveling mimic, eh, son?
I guess so. You know, Lystra is drugged. This whole town is remembering things that never were. Now, you take Leah Beth.
Just as a cross-section, son.
Yeah. She's living in a moonlit dream, listening for the sound of horses' hoofs, watching in the moonlight for the flash of yellow sashes.
I'll bet you're a whiz-bang writer, son.
Suppose I should kiss Leah Beth.
Suppose? Mr. Cull, Mama sent me over for a dab of cooking sherry.
Delighted, Leah Beth. Run.
Yo.
Harold, run out back and decant a dab of cooking sherry for Miss Morgan.
Why don't you go on with your supposing, Mr. McCall?
All right. When a man kisses a girl, he wants her to feel it now, not retroactive to 1860.
That was a good year.
Leah Beth, it looks pretty in the moonlight. But that sword is a rusty old scythe blade.
Is it? We always thought it was a sword.
Leah Beth, I saw the mark on the blade where the scythe handle went.
You have a real northern imagination, don't you? I'll just go back and save Harold a step.
Wait a minute. Last night... Well, you and
I know. Last night was the dark of the moon, wasn't it? The kind of night that boy rode off so many years ago. The kind of moon night you dream he might come back.
Last night was no dream.
Wasn't it?
Mighty pretty girl.
Yes, with a wall of lace antimacassars between her and reality. She's way back yonder waiting for some runaway lover that died 3 generations ago. If a man wanted her, he'd have to tear all that away. Where can I send a telegram?
At the depot, why?
I think I'll tell my editor what my next article's going to be. Lystra, I'm going to mimic your legend. White horse, yellow sash, sword, and all.
Is that for sure? Why?
Because underneath all that magnolia meringue, that's a real girl.
I had a suspicion.
And I want her here and now in this century. And to do that, I gotta yank her and this whole town right out of that dream.
You've got your mimicking cut out for you right enough.
Now, I'll have to stay around for a little while. Do you want me to register again?
That's all right, son. I signed you up for a couple of weeks last night. Acts like a fella in love.
That was Act One of Let It Rain, starring Ronald Reagan with Cloris Leachman. What was television like in its early days? Here's a reminder from Don Herbert in tonight's General Electric Progress Report.
This strange-looking machine is one of the first television sets ever made. And it's the invention of General Electric engineers. And it's 28 years old. Now, here's where the picture was up here. It was only a 3-inch screen, which is pretty small by comparison with today's sets, but it worked. Here, see if I can get a picture so you can see what it was like.
Now, this is what I would have looked and sounded like over this first television set. Obviously, the sound was pretty tinny and the image hard to recognize, but this was the first television.
And was quite a sensation back in 1927. And no wonder. Think of changing a picture into electricity here in this television camera and sending the electricity through the air for miles and miles and changing the electricity back to a picture in your home, all in a matter of a fraction of a second. Well, that was the beginning of the television age. In 1928, GE brought out America's first home set. The picture was seen on this small 3-inch screen. Later in that same year came the first long-distance television. It looked something like this. That's Governor Al Smith accepting the Democratic nomination for president. General Electric engineers relayed the ceremonies from Albany to Schenectady, a distance of 17 miles. But the TV set had a long way to go, and GE scientists were working to improve it. Those first pictures were made up of only 48 lines. You know, the picture scans onto the screen in your set like this. By 1935, GE engineers had managed to design and build a set that would scan 245 lines. The picture was much clearer and began to indicate shadows and grays. By 1940, GE sets were scanning 525 lines, just as they do today. And then in 1946, GE brought out the first aluminized tube, now standard throughout the industry. It took away the glare and made the picture sharp and clear. The picture got bigger, too. From the 3-inch picture in the first set to, well, today General Electric makes some television sets with a 24-inch screen, like this one here. And television's really getting around. Here's the new GE bedroom TV, the clock television set that wakes you up to music and pictures. And here we have GE's new portable television set. So light, you can carry it with you wherever you go. Yes, television's come a long way in a short time. And much of television's progress has come from the research, engineering, and manufacturing skill of the men and women at General Electric. And at General Electric, progress is our most important product.
And now the second act of Let It Rain, starring Ronald Reagan with Cloris Leachman.
Up on the mountain the other day, the pretty little flowers grew. Never did I know till the other day what love, oh love, could do, what love, oh love, could do.
Can you still tell the difference between a sword and a scythe?
Oh, the more I look at it, the more I realize that's the first curved Highland broadsword I've ever seen. Some might even erroneously call it a claymore.
You are sweet, Larry. You're a gentleman and a darling.
A week ago, I was a mimic.
You're a darling.
Henry, when you going to learn to teach brandy go straight to your liver?
Jenny, I had to toast the gallant company of Lystra now, didn't I?
Next time you do your toasting in Dr. Pepper, I'm sure the Gallon Company would understand about your liver.
You love me.
I love you, Leah Beth. I love you in the rain. I love you barefooted in the dew. I'll even come riding up on a white horse if that's the way you want it.
Wearing a yellow sash?
No, I gotta draw the line someplace. No sash.
I don't care. That's why we say to let it rain. It's easier than trying to push the raindrops back into the clouds.
Leah Beth, I'm serious now. Do you love me when the moonlight's gone?
The darker the moon, dreams deepest.
You don't understand. I'm going to write that article. I'm going to debunk Lystra. Tear it to shreds with a national circulation.
Why, you conceited, darling. Nobody in Lystra takes no account of a Yankee writer.
Even if I can't find out the name of the farmhand that hung that scythe in the tree, I'll dig up enough facts to blow that legend sky high.
You sweet darling.
What was your aunt's name?
My great-great-aunt?
Yeah.
Leah Beth.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that figures. Yeah, Mama would name you after the family martyr. What was the name of the gallant cavalier that left his sword and rode off into the night?
You wouldn't believe me.
No, you don't. Now, don't you go writing me into that dream. Don't tell me his name was McCall.
Oh, no, it was Culpepper.
Oh, well then.
Laren Winton Culpepper.
Leah Beth, you've got the most delightful, dry, deadpan sense of... You mean it, don't you?
He swore he'd come back for Leah Beth, and his name was Laren Winton.
You're telling the truth. No wonder you looked at me so strangely when I came there.
Oh, no, not strangely. Lystra understands coincidence.
Coincidence? That's a masterpiece of understatement.
Laren Winton left his sword over 100 years ago as a pledge of honor.
And now I have come back to redeem that pledge.
You're here, darling.
Oh, Leah Beth, the names are accidental. Nobody would believe a thing like that.
We would. Here in Lystra. We know.
Excuse me, Leah Beth.
Where are you going?
I gotta make a phone call.
But he's coming back, though he go 10,000 miles.
Culpepper. There was a Culpepper in that gallant company that rode off and didn't come back.
My great-great-uncle. How's your daddy?
Fine. How did you know who I was talking to?
It's like a mule, son. He knows a lot more than he lets on.
You know what my father just told me? I was named after my great-grandfather. Great-grandfather's name was Laren Winton.
Is that a fact?
Story goes that when he came to Watertown, he said he was from New Jersey, but folks said it must have been pretty far south in New Jersey by the way he talked. Chances are he was a Confederate deserter. The family joke was that he was a horse thief.
Why a horse thief?
Well, Dad said that when he came to Watertown, he was poor as Job's turkey, but he was riding a fine white horse. So Lystra isn't the town where all the boys were lost. Grandpa Winton didn't die in the war. So what do I tell her?
I thought you were so all fired up on the truth, son.
Everyday, prosaic truth. But there's a difference between a lover who rode away to his death and a deserter who left a young girl to die of shame.
Well, now you have all the facts to mimic that legend. What are you going to do, son?
destroy a dream. What happens to the dreamer?
He's gone away. For to stay a little while.
You make the call.
But he's coming back, though he go 10,000 miles. But he's coming back.
You know, that's a sword.
It's starting to rain.
I know, Marmot. Let it rain.
Look away, over yonder.
Well, I want to thank Cloris Leachman and our cast, and we hope that you enjoyed our play tonight. Now I'd like to take a minute to tell you something about our Christmas telecast next week of the General Electric Theater. Those of us responsible for the program have been searching for months for a Christmas story that would not only be appropriate, but that would be in keeping with the spirit of the holiday. We think we have found such a story. We've been working for several weeks very hard in order to bring you not only entertainment, but a play that would spiritually enrich your own Yuletide holiday. Our play is an adaptation of a poem, A Child is Born, by the great American poet Stephen Vincent Benet. Academy Award winner Bernard Herrmann has written our musical score, and our stars are, from the stage and screen, Victor Jory, from the Metropolitan Opera Company, Nadine Connor and Theodore Upman, and with them, Roger Wagner's chorale. And now all of us at General Electric hope that next week you and your entire family will spend a part of your Christmas holiday with us. So until next week, remember, the General Electric Theater will present A Child is Born. In the meantime, remember.
From electricity comes progress. Progress in our daily living. Progress in our work. Progress in the defense of our nation. And at General Electric, progress is our most important product.
Until next week, then, Merry Christmas and good night for General Electric.